Hey, hello and welcome the internet. How's it going? Welcome to Bowls RPG Corner. I'm JR, your friendly neighborhood frigid fungin master.
It is cold. I'm Megan, and I'm your friendly neighborhood player. Player.
Yeah,
I don't
we
master it.
are enjoying the frigid winds of winter, where it is a frozen 40 something degrees.
Yeah, I mean, cold here is definitely different than cold back up in Boston, where I lived for a while, where this was t-shirt weather. But I definitely
Yeah.
woke up this morning and I was like, it's time for a flannel. I have become weak.
Well, that's just the heat getting to you. Um, Welcome, everyone. Here at the RPG Corner, not only do we talk about the weather, which sure is nice out there right now, we also talk about what is going on in the role playing game world. And there are a few exciting headlines and product launches and all that good stuff going on this week. So let's dive right in and talk about some cool, fun, exciting things. First up, it's Halloween, like Saturday,
Woo.
which when did that happen? Um,
Yeah, I'm
I
pretty
don't.
sure yesterday was June,
Yeah,
so
I thought so too, but apparently it's Halloween on Saturday, which means it's Christmas in a week. So just
it's
heads up, everyone,
Thanksgiving in a
get
week.
your holiday shopping done. Order pumpkin spice lattes while you can, because before you know it, it's going to be spring, and who even knows? That's
Man,
assuming that.
I think the next week, though, like the next solid week, is going to be an entire eternity.
Yeah.
Like I've just looked at the calendar and I went, "Oh
Oh
no, the next
yeah.
week is going to last 18 years."
Next week is the election, isn't it?
Yep.
Whoo boy. Whoo.
Oh boy, indeed.
Whoo. Well, that's gonna be an ordeal, isn't it? Well, oh, and we'll be streaming that day too. So
Yeah.
come and tune in there. We won't be talking about the election. We'll be talking about pretty much everything except for it. So that'll
But if
be
it
a
looks
great reason to. I should say that at the end of this show.
Yeah, but if it looks like I'm dying on the inside, it's because I've just internalized all of the stress.
Yeah, because you're dying on the inside, literally.
That's just because I'm just dying. It's fine.
Speaking of dying
Speaking
on
of,
the inside, let's talk about Strahd.
we brought it full
He
circle.
just in time for Halloween and also the looming horror that is 2020's election. The Curse of Strahd is here. This is the
Hooray!
Strahd revamped from Wizards of the Coast. This is the Super Collector's Edition version of it, which comes in its own special spooky coffin-shaped box. And it has a ton of extra stuff in there. We talked about it a little last week, but it is out in the world, in the wild now. You don't actually get the hardbound book anymore. You get like the adventure and some like the booklets and stuff. But what you get in lieu of a hardbound book is an incredible new DM screen. You get maps, you get postcards from Barovia, you get your own Taroka deck that you can like use. You have your own like I like that they've broken out the stuff. So like you have the monster manual for the Curse of Strahd specifically,
Mhm.
which is pretty neat.
Yeah, that's very convenient just to have those monsters specifically put aside to go through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's always the kind of thing. That level of organization is the kind of thing I personally really appreciate.
Right. I think it's great. I think it'll be real interesting to see what if anything comes in future things, like because the like postcards especially is a really cool product to
Yeah,
have. Like it kind of
they they don't really serve a purpose in the game. They're just neat and pretty and cool to send to people or hang on your walls, depending on what your
exactly.
aesthetic is.
And my aesthetic is definitely a creepy gothic windmill, which you can kind of see there. But Curse of Strahd is not only coming to you from Wizards of the Coast. It is also coming to you from Beetle and Grimm's. These are the manufacturer of D&D like luxury good box sets, basically. Like if that's the collector's edition, and it is, and it'll run you about $100. This is like it's more expensive, but also like even more deluxe. They we've seen some of their stuff before. They include like wearable products like jewelry, or I think they had a scarf once. They make like custom maps for everything. They have encounter cards. They all the handouts in the game they like recreate for you. So you like if there's a letter in the game, if there's a deed in the game, notes from your gracious host, or even labels to put on your wine bottle. All of that stuff is in there, so they can like if you want immersion, right? This is it.
Yes, it's very interactive. I'm scrolling through their list, and there's a map. There's a second map. There's encounter cards. There is a deed, like you had mentioned, which looks really cool. It looks very official.
It's legit.
The script's really pretty. They have coins. There's another DM screen if you like collecting DM screens with more very pretty art.
But most importantly, puppets.
Puppets! I just got to the puppets. Oh no, I love these.
Yeah, aren't they incredible?
These are possibly the greatest thing I've ever seen this week.
Yeah. Finger puppets that will represent all different kinds of things that are in the game. You've got vampire Count Strahd von Zarovich, you've got a faceless bride, a werewolf, a jester marionette, and an undead cleric. So that's good times.
Kind of whiplashy because it's gone from an official deed and coins and then finger puppets. And
pretty much. It's like a, I don't know. It's like a little bit of a fun little flourish.
Yeah, they also seriously, but not too seriously.
You also get maps for every encounter in the game, so like you never have to draw anything. You can just like, here's a map, let's go, and it's great. It will run you $400, so it's an investment, but odds are good that if you like gaming and are work in various industries, you've got that cash laying around, or your whole table can kind of chip in and grab one. Is what I've heard some people do.
And if you're playing with a really established group that isn't gonna stay together for a while, that's kind of a good investment because then you all get to enjoy this game together.
I think so too. I think it signifies, I don't know, just like a really good time. You're like, let's get immersed. Who doesn't want to be? Yeah, who doesn't want to be dangerous? So that's a good spooky stuff. There's also a ton of Halloween sales going on right now on DriveThruRPG and itch.io. You can go check them out, find bundles of spooky horror games coming out if you want to play some Halloween one-shots. I know a lot of people like to do that. There's some fun stuff. Like everybody is putting out horror adventures this week. So if you are looking for something spooky for your table, there are no end of things that can provide you with all the nightmares of your dreams.
Do you have a favorite spooky horror game for Halloween?
Yeah, it's called The Game of Life.
Okay, yeah. We've all been playing, and it sure is happening.
Unless you're a billionaire, we're all losing right now. But if I were to pick like a horror role-playing game, I really like the Alien RPG. I think it's probably one of the best. Like, it captures that feel of like, actually there is a terrifying monster. Oh, I can't trust my friends. Oh, this is very good.
Yeah, they did such a good job with that game. It really captured that exact perfect dark spaceship feeling.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorites. I need more people to play with because I am one of the few people in my friends group who really, really appreciates the Alien series, and everyone else is like, that's nice.
Right.
Yeah, I think my favorite horror game might be Dread. which is the
Dregs
Jenga
is pretty
game.
good.
It's just so simple, and there's something very fun about just pulling Jenga blocks out and hoping you don't die horribly.
Another really fun one, which I'll be playing on Thursday, if anyone wants to come check that out, is called Back to the Woods We Go, which is a game of suspicion and distrust. I'm playing in a tabletop role-playing game charity event as part of the Rainbow Arcade. This week is like it's like the big Hextra Life event, and we're doing an Among Us themed horror game. So that's also very fun. Yeah, that'll be cool. Thursday at like 8 p.m. Central. Other fun things happening though. Speaking of popular culture in the news, Critical Role, the little game of people who just sit together to play D&D that also happen to be talented voice actors that also happens to be a company, represented by a very prestigious talent agency with both publishing and animated series deals in the works. They have just announced that they are expanding their empire even further by launching Darrington Press, their own game publishing company. This news is fairly fresh off of the internet. You can still smell the bytes and bits streaming off of it. They have basically said they want to bring their love of storytelling and gaming to their fans in more ways than they ever thought possible. And what that means is they're going to launch 4 games over the next year or so. They have teamed up with some pretty big name like designers. So one of the people heading it up is Ivan Van Norman, who designed is one of the people behind like Alice is Missing. His company also did the Altered Carbon RPG, which is really cool. And of course, Matt Mercer is there doing his stuff.
He's around.
They are launching with a game straight out of Campaign 2 called Ukotoa. This is a battle for life and death on the High Lucidian Seas. Their flagship title is a tactical game of semi-cooperative card play as factions of sailors vie to be the last claimed by the raging sea leviathan Ukotoa. As their ship slowly falls into the ocean, you'll have to run, push, and sacrifice others to win. Fans of Critical Role will know Ukotoa as the spoilers ex-patron of Warlock Fjord, and it looks like it'll be fun. It looks like it's kind of like a competitive, competitive, right? You want to win, but you also have to work together to survive.
I love these weird pseudo-competitive games where you're kind of working together, but also like you kind of are incentivized to not. And I'm not a huge fan of Critical Role personally, but this game looks really fun, and I think they've kind of hit that mark of even if you're not necessarily a fan of Critical Role, you can probably very easily become a fan of this game.
Right.
And if I saw this on a shelf, I would honestly, box art alone would pick it up because it looks very cool and that premise sounds great, and I wouldn't even have to know it was based in Critical Role to think this looks like a really neat game.
Right? It does. It looks very, very good. Very fun.
It does.
I'm excited to see that. I'm more excited to see one of their other products, which we'll get to. But next up, they have also announced Critical Role Adventures, which is still in the works, but this is a sort of a board game version. They call it a Cooperative Legacy Light campaign, but it's basically you play as Vox Machina, and you have to confront all kinds of adventures, and you will be guided through thrilling combat, dynamic character growth, and tales worthy of the name Vox Machina. So if you want to play as your favorite Critical Role character, this is your chance to do that. And it doesn't have to just be your own fan fiction. It can be a game that you played.
If you want to play out your fan fiction, you sure could.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got rules for kissing and more. It's kind of exciting. It leans like they're definitely leaning very hard on like what makes them popular right now, which, you know, is, I mean, it makes sense, is all well and good. But then they branch out into the new territory. And this is the one that I'm excited about with Syndicult, which is due to release in Q3 of 2021. Syndicult is an original modern magic role-playing game, so urban fantasy, designed by Matthew Mercer, in which mob families jealously guard secrets and battle it out for power on the city streets. Featuring a simple storytelling dice mechanic, Syndicult is a low magic world where all bets are off. You had me at Modern Magic.
Same. This looks very, very cool.
I'd also play Modern Standard or Modern Limited. That is a Magic the Gathering joke. Let's move on. Finally, they've got Guardians of Matrimonia, which is a cooperative card game where you, which kind of reminds me of Sentinels of the Multiverse. You have your own deck, right? And it's like a pre-built deck that you will take to fight against a deck of monsters. Fight the monsters, save the party. So you will have to deal with these party crasher monsters. I think the party here is like a literal party, not a party of adventurers. And if you can make your way through this whole deck of monsters and deal with all of them, you win. So,
yay! This also this looks like a really fun game, and I'm really into Sentinels. That's just a game that I always very much enjoy playing whenever I have people to play. But so playing that, but with a more magical kind of twist, sounds super fun. Honestly, all of these games sound really great and really well thought through.
Right.
And it doesn't feel like this is a weird harebrained thing that a bunch of friends who play D&D came up with one night. It feels very much like this is a series of very, very good ideas that are designed for other nerds to enjoy playing. If that makes sense. Yes. It feels like somebody who's very good at playing and coming up with games came up with games that everyone will enjoy regardless of whether or not they're already fans. And I think it's very cool, very smart.
Definitely. I think also I don't know, I'm very curious to see like how well this does for them. One thing that they have that a lot of other companies don't is that like big name recognition without having been doing this for the last, 40 years. Trying to think of like I guess Paizo is probably the youngest company that a lot of people know, and they've been doing stuff for 20 at least, or maybe, they've been around since 2000s. They got started when the person who would become like one of the founders of Paizo got fired from Wizards of the Coast Christmas Eve in the year 2000. Fun, interesting trivia fact for all of you to know. WotC, of course, is famous for Christmas layoffs. That is, it's a tradition over there. Apparently,
I know that. That's not awesome.
It happens, I think maybe they've moved away from that since. A lot of people kind of have their last days as contractors at various points now, but that there was a time, and there may still be a time when that like just routinely happens. I mean, it's the end of the quarter, right? You got to start Q1 with more money in the budget, and if you cut your overhead, you have more money. That's the big exciting stuff that's happening. I think it'll be real interesting to see how Darrington Press like goes on to like deal with their second year, right? It seems like they've got year one figured out. I imagine that there's going to be a whole ton of interesting stuff that happens as they like go through the year. Now they have a lot of infrastructure that other people don't have when they're first starting out. So like they have their own online shops and stuff. Like Critical Role is a legit company. They sell to the US, the UK, and Australia pretty regularly, and then internationally as well from those places. So like there's stuff.
I think the biggest thing they have going for them is that they already have this huge fan base already made. So there's already countless people who were probably going to at least be interested by this. And then
Yeah.
people like me who kind of exist on the periphery and are learning about this secondhand, but are still finding it to be kind of neat. So
Exactly.
I think word of mouth alone, or word of Twitter alone, I guess, is going to give them a huge boost over what like I would have making a game.
Yeah, basically, which lets them hit the ground running.
Mhm.
So once they've done that, there'll be like a whole ton of other stuff. What needs to happen? But I think it could be really fun.
I think it
We'll
can
be
be.
keeping
I
a
always
close.
really enjoy when people who play D&D and kind of enter the world in that direction go and do other stuff and move on to like create things that we can play. It's always really fun to watch that transition happen.
It really is. It really is. It's great. It's cool. Um, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see where this goes. I hope they do a lot of cool things. I think they will. I think they've got a lot of interesting potential. So let's keep an eye on that story and keep you all updated as that happens. One last little bit of stuff to talk about. If you are wondering, D&D movie news, because they are still at work on the D&D movie, which will it turn out to have been an ill-advised attempt at making a movie about Dungeons and Dragons like all the others have been, or will it be successful?
I was gonna say, classically, this has been a great idea in the past. So.
Yeah, historically it's never worked. So this time, definitely it's going to. The all the other swamps have fallen over and sunk. All the other castles have fallen over and sunk into the swamp. So like this one, this has gotta be it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
My expectations are real low, but I find when I keep them kind of at ground level, I can only be pleased.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You only have up to go. Which is, I mean, it's great. I think that's everything that we have to talk about today. I can't think of anything else that is happening in the world of gaming right now that's worth. Oh, I guess they did say that they are in talks to talk about potentially exploring a D&D live action series, which I think there's a much better room to explore. I think D&D would work better as a concept for a fantasy series. Is the world burnt out on fantasy TV after Game of Thrones did the opposite of stick the landing, after they stuck the landing so poorly that their spin-offs got canceled? I don't know.
Think about that all the time.
I don't know.
But we were all very invested, and then the last season happened. We were like, you know what? On second thought, don't make the books. It's fine.
Yeah. Maybe trusting people who had never done it before and who thought that themes are for book reports wasn't the best idea. If they had stopped when George R.R. Martin had stopped, it still would have been great. But alas, we don't live in that world. We live in the world where 2020 is 2020, and it continues to get more and more dystopic. Look at Jeremy Irons there expressing how all of us feel on the inside. Yeah. On that cheerful note, I think we are at an end with our news. Be sure and tune in the rest of this week. Tomorrow, we have got Goatboy Painting on Twitch. Goatboy Paints on Twitch. You can find that at twitch.tv/BellaBlahSouls. That is at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can also find Tabletop Spotlight, where we show you the hot new stuff of the week that you can get from your own friendly local curbside service providing game store with our friends at Dragon's Lair. And then join us on Mondays for the War Game Show, where we talk about all the cool stuff that is new in the tabletop wargaming world, which, spoiler alert for next week, is probably going to be the new Space Wolf and Death Watch codexes, as well as the new combat patrol boxes and minis and stuff. And then join us Tuesday to forget about your election woes for like a half-ish hour. We'll probably talk about stuff.
And maybe even things.
Yeah, we could be talking about things. We could be talking about stuff. I think we'll be giving you all that you need to escape the night. Hopefully you've all voted. I think this is the last week of early voting anywhere. If you were doing mail-in ballots, maybe drop them off if you can.
Please get those in.
Get them in. It's super important. It's everyone's civic duty, and I think now more than ever, it's super easy to do. So get out there, check out the new voting machines. If you haven't voted in a while, they don't do the little clicky wheel anymore. It's ooh, the future.
The future is now.
You have to go see it for yourself, though. So go vote. That's it for us. Yeah, we'll see you all next time. Have a great week.
See ya.